In this video, we will be creating Mickey Mouse. I'm going to use a predetermined photo of Mickey Mouse, and we will be recreating that. To begin, we've opened Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to select Create New. This launches our document creation screen. We're going to select Art and Illustration. I'm going to set my width to 400 points and my height to 400 points as well. You'll notice that up top I've switched my workspace from Essentials to Essentials Classic. At this point I'll pull over some of my tabs that I have open in menus. First we'll need our Layer tool as well as our Pathfinder tool. If you can't find either of these, underneath Window you'll find Layers, and underneath Window you will find Pathfinder. So feel free to access those. I'm going to click and hold and drag and drop the photo of Mickey, and we will place this in the center of our artboard. And once I've placed this, I will lock the layer that it's on and rename it Reference Picture. We're going to break this down to a few different parts. The first part will be what I call the black mask. The black mask is made up of the right and left ear, as well as the circle that makes up the black portion of Mickey's face. I'm going to create a new layer, and I'll call this Black Mask. To begin, I'm going to create an ellipse. I don't want a stroke on this ellipse, and I would like a bright colored fill. I'll create 3 rough ellipses. I will highlight them and drop their opacity to about 50%. The first step will be to roughly shape our ellipses, and I'm doing this with the black arrow. The black arrow allows us to shape and manipulate whole objects. The next step will be to adjust these shapes using the white arrow, which allows us to adjust portions of an object. I'm happy with my rough estimations here, so I'm going to switch to my white arrow. I will select one of my objects. You'll notice that 1, 2, 3, 4 anchor points were created. These anchor points are adjustable, and that is how we will make the small adjustments to these shapes. Notice that as you pull one handle, the opposite side responds. Selecting this top anchor point on the right ear, I will just continue to shape these ellipses, trying as best I can to follow the edge of our photo, recreating this as accurately as possible. Sometimes just moving an anchor point will fix the issue rather than actually moving the Bezier handles. Selecting this anchor point, I'll move it down. Selecting this anchor point, I will move it down as well. This anchor point will need to be moved up a bit. We need a little bit more material here, so I'll pull out horizontally this handle. This edge looks good. All my edges at this point look good. I would like to merge these now, but before I merge them, my opacity needs to be increased to 100%. If not, we would have 1 area, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anywhere where we have separate opacities or overlaps, it would not allow that to be merged cleanly. We'll merge. This is now set. We will go back to the black colored fill that we had originally. I'll remove my reference picture and we'll toggle that black mask. I'm going to hide that and lock it, and we'll create a new layer and we'll call it white mask. Mickey's white mask will be made up of the right eye, the left cheek, the right cheek, as well as the chin. Again, I'll start with a bright color, and I will roughly place my 5 ellipses. This one will be for Mickey's chin, highlighting all of them. First thing I will do is drop their opacity. Next, I will begin to shape them roughly to match the edges of my images. The 2 cheeks will need to be rotated. At this point, all of my rough adjustments have been completed with the black arrow, and I will now switch to the white arrow and attempt to fit these ellipses a bit more cleanly to the original image, just following these edges as best we can. Making improvements where we need to, stretching handles, adjusting handles whenever appropriate. That will be lowered a bit. Looks like all of these ellipses are overlapping. Bringing the opacity back to 100% and merging, we get one clean image. Turning off my reference picture, we see this shape. I'll give this a white fill. Unfortunately, we don't have our black border, so at this point, I will add my black stroke to this object, clicking to close that menu and then increasing the stroke by 1 point. Now we can see our white mask as well as the black mask. Because the white mask is on a layer that's on top of the black mask, when we show it, that portion of the black mask is hidden.